Russo Italiano sponsors Boxing Bros UK.
It's showtime!
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK. I am his boss Chris. This is my co-host Andrew the Boxing Brain. Every time we was going to do a video, something else happened. We're talking about this back and forth with Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker. Is it on? Is it 10 rounds? Is it 12 rounds? Who the fuck knows? Nobody does.
Apparently 10 now. Apparently they've settled on 10. For where we've got one source, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know where to start with this.
Well, I think it's pretty reliable, but we're going to take you through the comical bullshit of Ben Shalom at first. So let's share this one here. This is a TalkSport interview that he gave with his good pal Simon.
Get you all up to speed if you're not already. I mean, the absolute shit show leading up to a fight. I've never seen anything like it in my life, to be honest.
We're going to give our take on the excuses.
Subject last week.
We've signed for a 12-round fight, and they're trying to push it for a 10-rounder, doing everything they can, and I'm not budging. I'm having a 12-round fight, and this is what I tried to do it on. Gloves are off. They won't let me speak about it, and on Sky Sports, they didn't air my interview. This is the problem we're having, is that I've signed a 12-round contract fight. When I was signing contract, I thought it couldn't barely get.
Well, Ben Shalom is with us live. Ben, what is it, 10 or 12?
So that's the start of it.
Yep.
Basically, he signed for a 12-round fight, and Ben Shalom said, actually, I made him boo-boo. It's a 10-round fight. So they played that to Ben Shalom and said, this is what Cameron's saying. What have you got to say about it?
I don't even buy it was an admin error. What lawyer have you ever known? And I've only met a couple, but have you ever met lawyers associated with any team at top level sport that have got some digits between 10 and 12? I just think it's an absolute, they've just copy and pasted it. I don't even buy it. I think it's just that there's a complete massive cock up, to be honest.
Well, this is how sad it is, yeah. Even at McDonald's, yeah. Do you think at McDonald's they give a over 25-year-old the contract of a 16-year-old by mistake and pay him like £2.88 or whatever the 16-year-olds get paid at McDonald's?
It's a mess.
It doesn't happen because things get proofread and gets checked. Like, who's his lawyer or who's his secretary? Who the fuck did the contract?
Basically, before we get back into this, from as soon as Ben Whittaker went over the ropes to all these shenanigans leading up to Sunday night when he fights, it's decreased Ben Whittaker's stock. His stock has completely gone down, and his whole team and him, just to me, it's a bit of an embarrassment. But anyway, we shall carry on.
We'll carry on. So now Ben Shalom is going to defend his team or take it on the chin that he made a mistake. Let's listen to his excuses.
It's a 10-round fight, Jim. I think, look, I've said yesterday, I think it was on the stomping ground. In the first instance, on one of the paperwork, there was an admin error in the office.
Admin error!
To be honest, it wasn't a couple of weeks. I think it was a couple of days when it was noticed. And to be honest, as sensible partners, I thought it'd be all worked out. And it seemed like it was getting worked out. And they wanted extra money and this and compensation, whatever it was. And we agreed to that. And we sort of felt like we moved on from that situation. Since Liam's interview, I've spoken to George Warren and myself, and George had agreed the terms of what gets it done. And to be honest,
I just want to pause it there for 1 second.
Liam Cameron's,
because you need to listen to what Ben Shalom says there, yeah? So he says, we made an admin error, yeah? So we made an admin error, and we said we'd compensate Liam Cameron for the money. So remember this, yeah? Because when Frank Warren comes on, you need to remember it, because he said something very interesting about what Ben Shalom tried, some funny stuff with this. That's why he ended up having to pay more money. It's not because they were just making things up, but I digress.
No, that's fine.
Trainer is saying, it's 12 rounds.
Look, they are, what's happening with, and I've been in the situation a few times, they're agreeing something, and then looking to draw it out as long as possible, and that's what's happened now a couple of times. And we know what's going on. They want to play games. They want to mess around. I think Liam's being told ultimately what to say. Well, it's a 10-round fight, and I agreed that in writing last week. We actually were demanded to make which was a ridiculous request to make a payment into the board and lodge the payment last week. We had a deadline of last week. We did that. And so at the end of the day, it's a 10-round fight. It's always been the rematch. It's always been exactly the same as the first fight. They know that. And this is the Ben Whittaker show. And if they don't want the fight, then just say.
Well, I mean,
just pull out.
At this end,
at the end of the...
At this end, Ben, Spencer's with me, Simon's with me, both of them smiling from ear to ear. What's your take on all of this?
Well, I think that Ben and Boxer have made fools of themselves, Ben. I think if you've got them to sign
to understand that. So if he's got confidence in his own ability to take it over 12, surely he would take it.
Yeah.
To be honest, we've not even had that conversation.
I just want to say something here, right? First of all, right, all of this saga could have been prevented if Ben Whittaker, the wonderful amateur, the wonderful pedigree, the best British boxer we've had since, Prince Nazim Hamid, had said, do you know what? Not only am I fucking ready, I can do 12 rounds, I'll fucking do 15 and I'll stick it on you, Liam. I'll do 15. Where has his fucking balls gone in this? This is the thing. This is why my prediction is Cameron's going to win this, because he could have solved this, Chris, by going, do you know what? I'll do 12 rounds. I can even do 12, 15. Come out, be bold, be confident. Yeah. I think his bum's gone for this fight. His whole team are nervous, desperate to have 10 rounds because they want to give him as many A-sides as possible. It's a joke, really, from their side. Embarrassing, as Simon Jordan said.
The thing is, there's two things, right? When your best bum chum, Simon Jordan, is calling you a tit and saying that you look like an idiot, you know shit is bad. And then, number two, this could have been avoided. Do you know what he could have done? He could have said, oh, Ben, I fucked up, So instead of giving Liam Cameron the extra money, why don't I give it to you? Because he's already signed the contract and the fight goes ahead.
Probably because Ben doesn't want...
Why did he give Ben Whittaker the money for the extra 2 rounds instead of Liam Cameron?
Because Ben Whittaker don't want to fight 12 rounds. He just does not want 12 rounds.
Exactly.
It's just bizarre. You're an elite athlete crying over spilt milk about 2 fucking rounds.
And obviously, we know his game plan is to be on his bike and stick and move this time. We know that. So that's why he wants 10 rounds, because he thinks, but he doesn't, because he can't do it for 12 rounds because he's never been them championship rounds. There's someone who fights I don't even know if he'll be able to do it for 10 rounds. He's going to have to run away all night Saturday night because he can't plant his feet and trade with him because he can't put a dent in Liam Cameron. But we'll get to our preview on the next video or the end of this one. But on the gloves are off. We're going to do a watch along with the gloves are off.
Whittaker, because it was a situation that we felt was on our end between Boxer and Queensbury, nothing to do with him. And so we've looked to resolve that and have resolved it, and that's where we'd left it. So he's training for a 10-round fight. He's been training for a 10-round fight for 8 weeks. And to be honest, I don't think he's even aware of this.
But do you accept? Well, of course, he's aware of it, Ben. He's not living under the do you accept the fact that if you've got him to sign a 10-round contract,
this is what I mean with Ben Shalom. Like, he says the stupidest things. I know. Like, Ben Whittaker doesn't even know what's going on. Are you for real?
What?
You don't think he's got mates who are saying, like,
Ben Whittaker, who spends half his time on computer games and social media, doesn't know what's gone on. Who are you trying to kid?
He just, like, Ben Shalom's excuses for things are just pathetic. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, even what he said earlier before, he said, we agreed. We agreed on paper that it was going to be a 10-round fight. So why isn't it a 10-round fight if you agreed it? Because you didn't agree on paper. You might have said, "Oh, we'll have a 10-round fight," and then you sent a 12-round contract over. Nothing was agreed on paper, or like it's agreed on paper, but you didn't say a contract. What did you get a notepad? Right, 10 rounds on it. That's something. What? He's just an idiot. He is an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he signed it, Ben.
No. This is a contract between Boxer and
so Ben
Queensbury.
Whittaker hasn't signed the contract.
He's not signed a contract for 12 rounds. He's not.
I wonder why.
On the same contract. We have a contract between Boxer and Queensbury for Liam's services, which we subsequently agreed,
which you signed on his behalf,
to change from 12 to 10.
So as far as you're concerned, it's a moot point. The fact that the optics.
It's an irrelevant. Look, they're trying to make a point out.
But the optics are wrong, Ben. I'm not on their side of your side in this instance. I get accused of being on your side a lot, but the optics are wrong. You've got a fight contract that's been signed for 12, which is bad admin, and now you've got a fighter that doesn't want to fight a 12-round fight, so you lose again. So people can get to parody you on two fronts.
We've not got a fighter that doesn't fight.
Yeah, right.
12 rounds. He's a fighter that's trained for 10 rounds and prepared for a rematch.
Oh God! Stop it there, Chris. Sorry. Sorry. I know people don't like. I tend to find people don't like when you interrupt too much with this sort of stuff. But he's like this guy. I'm convinced doesn't know boxing. He's trained for a 10-round fight, not a 12-round. Are you fucking having a lot? I've never been so incensed in all my life. You're an elite athlete. I said this to you on the phone. I was ranting to Chris, who had to endure my wrath, unfortunately. Like, you're going to make sure if you come into a fight, your standard like 12-round fight, once you kind of get to that level, you're going to be training 15 rounds, 16, 17 rounds, making sure you've got cardio for days, right? I mean, he's meant to be an elite athlete, an Olympian. And you go, oh, he's only trained for 10 rounds. What is he talking about?
It just doesn't make any sense. And you can't say he does want to fight. He doesn't mind fighting 12 rounds, but he trained for 10. And he can fight for 12 rounds.
Oh, what is he talking about?
If he can fight for 12 rounds, he should. And why isn't if I was Ben Whittaker, I'll be like, pay me. Liam, don't give you the money to Liam Cameron. I'll pay me. He's already signed a 12-round contract. He knows what he's getting. The money he was going to give to him, I want it because I'm going to fight the extra 2 rounds.
I'll tell you what's happened here.
That was problem.
You remember when Fraser Clark got pulled out and it was like, oh, we need him to do a 10-round or we need him to do another 10-round, another 12-round, whatever it was. What I think partly what's happened here, right, this is just a school of thought from me. They've realised Ben Whittaker's nowhere near ready for a 12-rounder, not even a 10-rounder. You know, by the looks of it, and it's just he got in there too early against Liam Cameron. They thought he was going to be a knockover job, and they're trying to give him every benefit they can because they're worried. They're absolutely petrified, and it's too soon for him. It's too soon.
Instead of 12, they're trying to give him
I think Liam Cameron's too soon for him. This is what this comes down to. He's not ready, and now. Yeah. Anyway, we should get back into it, shouldn't we?
Ultimately, our mistake is that, and ultimately, it has been dealt with. And if they don't want the fight, then all they have to do is say that. We've done what we can now. We've agreed to everything that they want. We made every.
Yeah, Liam Cameron doesn't want the fight. Yeah, the game as fuck. Liam Cameron doesn't want the fight, Chris. I mean, what is this guy on? What is he on, this guy? Like, if they don't, he's trying to change the narrative. Oh, if they don't want the fight, they just have to tell him. Liam Cameron, Imad, Sheffield Baturbiev, keeps coming forward. Liam Cameron doesn't want the fight against Ben Whittaker, who can't put a dent in him. Yeah, all right, pull the other one, mate. Fucking hell.
You see how Ben Shalom he's not very good at like blagging.
Awful.
You know, like Eddie Hearn's like a good shit talker. And he
car salesman. If Ben Shalom was a car salesman, nobody would buy a car.
I know. Like Ben Shalom, he's trying to do like what the other promoters do, like a bit of misdirection and all that. And he's just shit at it, and he just makes it
shocking, mate. Absolutely. Oh,
well, now we've got Frank Warren. Yeah. So after Ben Shalom said all that, Frank Warren comes in. Oh, and that interview that Ben Shalom gave was on the 14th of April. No, the 11th of April. Yeah? So that was said on the 11th of April. Liam Cameron, he said it, I think it was like on the 10th or something on the day before, or the week before. So then the next one It's Frank Warren on the 16th of April. So nearly a week after Ben Shalom was on there.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Boxer Chief Executive
Yeah.
Ben Shalom admitted in the build-up to this fight.
Look at him laughing. Look at him laughing. He knows.
There was an administration error on their side. And you probably heard it, Frank. He attempted to clear things up with us as to whether it's 10 or 12 rounds when he was on last week. And this was Shalom. Have a listen. I and many others tuned in to Simon and Spencer on Top Boxing. They had Robert Smith of the British Boxing Board of Control, who seemed to suggest the issue was still up in the air between the promoters.
Whoever put the contract together has made a ricket. It's quite simple as that. And that's for them to sort out. And I had a discussion this morning on my way here with regard to our actions, what we would do. I don't think we need to do anything at the present time unless it's the last minute, because this is a contractual issue, and therefore they should sort it out. I'm sure they will.
And I sympathise with Cameron when I read that. Where are we at with this, Frank? I know you can put it into some kind of perspective for us.
Well, it's the most ridiculous situation, and Liam's absolutely right. He signed for, as did Boxer, for a 12-round fight. They've had this has been going on since mid-February. All this nonsense that's going on. It's unprofessional. It's a lack of respect to Liam. It's also a lack of respect to Ben, because he's negotiated his side for a 10-round fight. So, I've never known anything like this in my time in boxing. And initially, when they started all this, they tried to cut Queensberry out of dealing direct with our fighter. They went to the manager and tried to withhold information from us. So they haven't acted professionally whatsoever. And
that's why I wanted to pause it. So, did you hear what Frank Warren said there? He said that Ben Shalom tried to go behind Frank Warren's back and make a side deal with Liam Cameron, So that's what Ben Shalom was on about when he agreed to pay Liam Cameron extra money.
Shady.
Yeah. So he's gone to him and said, Liam, I'll give you this. Yeah. You can't go and approach a fighter before speaking to his manager first. You don't go to the fighter direct when he's under contract with Queensberry. Yeah. So that's why Frank Warren said, you want to fucking snake me? I'm going to snake you right back.
So what does that tell you from his team? His team are desperate, whether it's Ben pleading with them to make it a 10-round and he's been all suspiciously quiet. He's not really saying anything. We'll see in the gloves are off later. He's just butting everything away. Or his team know that Liam Cameron's got his number and he's going in there too soon, and they're absolutely desperate to make sure he's got that 10 rounds to try and protect him. Like, why else would you do what Ben Shalom's doing? It's obvious.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, I think it's an insult to Liam Cameron, because they thought, he's never probably had any real money before, so if I offer him this, he's going to bite my hand off. Not knowing that people like that are loyal. And Frank Warren gave him a contract after that performance, looked after him. So why is he going to snake Frank Warren for some money? He told Frank Warren, and what did Frank Warren do? Rewarded his loyalty by getting him more money. And Ben Shalom had not a leg to stand on, because he knows you can't approach fighters with side deals. And he's done it before. Who did he try to do a side deal with directly? Fabio Wardley. He tried to do a side deal with Fabio Wardley, and then because Fabio Wardley wouldn't take it, then he pulled out the purse bid. He's just terrible. Like, this guy is a terrible promoter and manager. He hasn't got a clue.
Yeah, agree. It's not a good look. But anyway, let's
get back to that.
As Lindsay just said, Boxer claims it can amend contracts without Liam or Queensberry's consent, and they've even threatened to legal action and repeatedly repudiate the contract. We have, or Liam has, and we have a signed contract, and that's the end of it. That is it.
And it's the same contract for 12.
The only way you can deviate from that contract, that 12-round contract, is to agree terms with Liam if he wants to do it. Me, I want to move because it suits Liam to have 12 rounds.
Of course it does.
I would much rather forsake the extra money and do the 12 rounds, because I think he's more of a 12-round fighter. And I don't know whether Ben is or not, but we'll find out if it happens. But that's where we are. And, it's really simple. It's 12 rounds as the contract stipulates, amend the rounds and do a deal to 10 rounds, or we're in a legal situation and a fight won't happen.
And so, Cameron's wanting a certain amount of money to go to 10 rounds.
Yeah, well, yeah, why wouldn't he?
How much is he wanting, Frank?
What has he got to give up the advantage for?
Right. And is he asking for a lot?
I hope so.
Are you asking for a lot on his behalf?
I hope so.
We're asking for money from him. Of course we are.
So where's
Look, this is a guy who's had to come from a really, really troubled background, had a lot of problems in his life, and his last fight he resurrected himself and looked good in that fight, and it ended controversy, as we all know. He's now agreed to a rematch because really, I mean, I said to him, let's go in a different direction. You know, they need you. You don't need them. I mean, the consensus was he was doing well in the fight, but he wanted to go to the fight. Go to the rematch. Terms were agreed.
Right, I've got to pause it there.
Well said, by the way.
So Frank Warren,
well said.
Liam Cameron, don't take the fight. You don't need it. I thought Liam Cameron didn't want the fight. He's the one who's been chasing the fight from the beginning. Ben Whittaker's the one who's not been on social media. He's been hiding, saying, well, I'll take it if it's there, but if it's not, it's not. He wasn't saying, I want the rematch straight away.
He went radio silent, mate. He's gone radio silent again. He's even silent in the gloves are off for the interview. He won't say anything. I've never seen a shift in personality. I mean, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is 1 minute he can't fucking shut up about how great he is. Now he can't fucking say a word. He's become a mute. So,
but like, they can't say that like. Cameron doesn't want the fight because they're messing around, because we didn't hear anything from Ben Whittaker for ages. Then he popped up with Carl Froch on his show, and Carl Froch asked him outright, and he said, "Yeah, I want to get the get back, but if I don't, I don't. It is what it is." That was his attitude to Carl Froch. And Liam Cameron's attitude since the fight is, "I will win in. I will win in. I knew if he didn't quit, I could have won. I want the rematch." That's been his attitude since it finished. Since the fight finished. So you can't sit around Ben Shalom and say that Liam Cameron don't want it, and that Frank Warren's telling him what to say. He's just doing his job as a manager, getting the most money, and you're trying to take advantage of people doing backdoor deals. And shit.
Shady as fucking it, really. But
shady, and it's all starting to add up. His behaviours, all these pulling people.
Of course, it is. Absolutely,
Like he doesn't do what's best for his fighters. Then he can't even he's got like dyslexic accountants who copy and paste and can't tell the difference between 10 and 12. It's really, really sad, man.
And that's where we are. And you know, Liam had to sign a contract acknowledging the terms of the bout versus Whittaker. And there was a third attachment to that. You have to make the contracts enforceable. Now boxers claim it can vary those material terms without any reference to Liam, which is a complete and utter ridiculous.
And now the fight, Frank, is days away, Simon.
I don't think that's what they think, Frank. I think the conversation.
What it says.
Well, let me. I mean, obviously, you might have listened to last Thursday because I put it on Ben Shalom and said, Ben, it's a bit ridiculous to have a contract. If you wanted a 10-round fight, you should have put a 10-round contract in place and then argued there on afterwards. And there on afterwards, if you've signed for a 12-round fight, you've dropped a ricket. You're now making a bit of a tit of yourself and your fighter by making it such a big deal about 12 rounds and bringing all the questions about Whittaker's stamina into it. And he immediately said, I've made a mistake, I've dropped the ball. Where I am with Queensberry now is I've agreed a deal with Queensberry, which involves financial compensation for Liam. And what Queensberry are doing now is just kind of mugging me off in the press because I've made a mistake. Have you not agreed a deal? Or because I think Ben's accepted. I clearly can't not accept it. I've seen the provision of services agreement. I understand the dynamics of it. I understand the reality of what you guys may or may not have entered into. But he signed it. You guys agreed the contract. It's very clear. It's very evident. He's got to pay to get out of it. Have you not agreed the financial difference between 10 and 12?
No. No, otherwise something would be signed, and that's not happened. And I've got to tell you something, Ben Whittaker...
Signed for 12-fight contract, it's indelible. When I was speaking to Robert Smith yesterday, I was saying, what jurisdiction do you have? If the fight's been signed and agreed, do you have any jurisdiction to force this event into being... to actually manifesting itself?
He can't do that at all.
No, that's what he said, yeah.
He can't do that. He can't.
Without trying to be overly facetious.
I know.
A lot of this might stem from the original conversations, and you're going to disagree with this, I'm sure, where Liam Cameron, I believe, agreed a deal in principle with Boxer about a certain amount of finances, which he then took to you. You then raised the bar, and then he ended up signing with you to represent him. Is this now an opportunity, because Boxer have dropped the ball, made a mistake, that potentially the difference between what you want for him to be paid for the 2 rounds discrepancy is more problematic and a slight opportunity that you're taking rather than actually making the fight happen?
Not at all. His manager, Lee Eaton, is an employee of Queensbury. He works for Queensbury. So he is his manager. He came to me and he asked me to, after that, when we agreed a deal, that he was going to be promoted by us. And that's where we are. And I started this off by saying that they were trying to do a deal behind our back with them. That's what happened. But,
I mean, the way I see it, Frank, is am I going to be tuning in for Cameron Whittaker?
Oh, it's bloody here we go. Jim White talks bollocks here. Look, don't know how boxing works.
And then we either hear seconds out, round 11, or it's over.
Because the start.
Why is this guy talking about boxing?
I know.
He's an idiot. He says it with a straight face, like he actually believes that they don't know what round.
Do you know what? If this was me, I'd pay it. I'd wipe my mouth and pay it. They keep saying it's an accident, but Lee said that this was always going to be a 12-rounder. It's for the IBF Intercontinental titles, and that's what the contract says. 12 rounds.
Good point.
IBF Intercontinental title.
So if he doesn't get paid, do you pull Cameron out?
Sorry?
If he doesn't get paid,
what? He'll get paid. I'm not pulling him out fight. He's there to fight. He'll be there on the night for a 12-round fight. He'll be at the weigh-in to weigh him for a 12-round fight. We don't agree terms. It's as simple as that.
Have you ever known anything like this in boxing, Frank?
No, it's like Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse. That's what it is.
Okay, Frank.
Right. This is what I was going to ask you, Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remove that. Like, let's try and rack our brains. We've both got a good boxing knowledge. Have you ever heard of this before? In boxing, have you ever seen it happen or think it's happened in boxing before ever? Like someone said they want to fight. It's a 10 rap. They've given them a contract and said, actually, no, we want 10 rounds for 12.
The only thing similar to this I've seen on quite a few occasions, I think Fury might have done it, is to do with the ring. Whether the ring's too soft, whether it's too small, too big, they want the ring bigger. You know, I think there was a little bit with Usyk about that. They're the only elements I've ever seen that have been debated leading up to a fight. I've never seen in my years watching boxing. At the end of the day, it's normally as you progress, you know, you start out, you do your 4-rounders, you do your 6-rounders, you do your 8, you build it up. There's never been any dispute with it. It's like, yeah, ready for 10, right? Now it's 12. I think what's happened is they've pushed Ben too soon. You know, coming out of the Ezra and Williams fight, who are area level. I mean, Williams was an aerial title winner, I think.
He wasn't area level. He was just a gym sparring partner.
No, not Ezra. Williams. Williams, the one he fought before. I think he won an area title. So he's gone from him to Ezra. To Liam Cameron, who I think was a bit like what Deontay Wilder tried to do with Fury's comeback in that first fight. And I think it's a cherry pick gone completely wrong and he's being exposed. But in answer to your question, I've never seen a dispute around how many rounds it's going to be, to my knowledge, ever. Have you?
No, I've never, like you say, but the things that, like, the
it's
too spongy. They normally sort it out beforehand. Times where, like, Fury complained about the Klitschko having the spongy canvas, they were trying to cheat, and they had every right to say, take that shit out. And, like, and the only other thing I can think of is when Amir Khan said Kell Brook's not allowed to wear them fly gloves, or there's no fight.
Yeah.
And I think Amir Khan said, I don't care if it's in the contract, I'm not fighting because them gloves are dangerous or something, the horsehair or whatever.
Well, there's a history of this, Chris, because do you remember Ben Shalom started bitching about Wardley's fly gloves after Fraser Clark?
Oh, yeah.
So this whole thing with Ben Shalom, a boxer, right? Sky Sports must be thinking, fucking hell. The one thing I would say is I do really like this card. I do like the card. I like it. But I'll tell you what, he's in danger of maybe being pushed out as a promoter and getting someone back in once his contract's up with Sky, because it's just own goal after own goal after own goal, isn't it? I'll tell you what, there's more gaffes with Ben Shalom than when Sleepy Joe Biden was president of America.
So, and
where are we at now? I'm lost.
We're at the conclusion now. The happy ending, guys. The happy ending. What can't speak, can't lie. Confirmed. Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron 2 on Easter Sunday will be fought over 10 rounds. Boom, boom. That's been posted today from Everything Boxing.
So we hope. They're a pretty good source, but I'm sure there's other sources out there, but we'll have a little check after this video because we had to sort of put it together quick, sharp. But according to that, it looks as though I don't think you're going to put something out like that unless you know. And there we are. So after all this, you know, Ben Shalom has got his way again somehow, and Ben Whittaker. 10 Whittaker, we'll have to call him. 10 Whittaker.
Yeah, 10 Whittaker. Oh man, it's just this has been an absolute shit show from Thingy, and I don't think I can ever heard of anyone sending a contract. I've never heard of anyone sending a contract. Someone signs it, and they said, "Actually, we sent you the wrong contract," and they made their fighter sign a 10-round contract, and someone else sign a 12-round one.
Have you ever done a job, Chris? Have you ever worked in any job and they've sent you a contract to sign, right? You're doing 40 hours a week, right? You go in to start on a Monday morning to start your 40-day week, and the manager brings in the office and goes, "Oh, sorry, there's been a contractual error, an admin error. You're meant to do 45 hours a week." It never happens. It never happens. No. Never. Right? Yeah. And this is elite sport with the best lawyers in the game. Right? Come on. It's an absolute joke, isn't it?
If I was Ben Shalom, I would have been on my knees begging Whittaker just to do the 12 rounds, and I'll say whatever I was offering them, Cameron, I'll give you double that out of my own pocket just so that I don't look like a dickhead to everyone.
I don't know if Ben Whittaker has got some sort of self-damaging kind of inclination to destroy his reputation. If he's in. I'm not saying he's doing this intentionally, but to me, he's managing his career terribly. Like, and we're gonna go. Everyone go over, and we're going to do the gloves are off to check out that video. I don't get it. He could have come out and gone, "Do you know what? I know what's going on with all this business." He could have earned a bit of clout back from the fans because everyone's siding with Cameron here. Everyone's picking Cameron to win. Ben Whittaker's 10 Whittaker's stock has gone right down. He could have come out on social media and said, "Do you know what? Not only will I do 12 rounds, listen here, you Sheffield bum, right? Listen here, look at me here. Listen here, you Sheffield bum, right? I gave you a chance in that fight. Oh, that was a worse version of me. Not only am I going to do 12, I'm going to do 15 rounds, and I'm going to make, you know, show some fucking balls. This is the fight game." Right? And he's saying nothing. He said absolutely nothing. And all he's doing is destroying his reputation further. He's making a mockery of himself. I'm sorry to say it, but he's such a talent. But his talent is not enough.
It's like it's a combination of him being a prima donna. Like, I want 10 rounds. Yeah, then and Ben Shalom being a shit manager.
Yeah, the problem is we don't even know if because Ben Whittaker's not saying anything about it. We don't know if but it looks obvious to us, at least, Chris, that it looks as though he clearly doesn't. He clearly wanted 10 rounds. So anyway, we can go on about it forever. People will make their own opinions.
Well, the good news is the fight is happening. Thank the Lord. Thank God. Praise Allah. Praise bloody Moses. I'm happy it's happening. Because I was starting to think it might not happen. I was getting worried, to be honest.
So that's that. That's that.
That's it from us. Boxing Bros UK. Peace out.